Welcome back to the H-Plat podcast. My name is Aidan. I'm joined here with Alex and Brian here.
Hello.
It has been 3 years since the last podcast, and I never showed up for any of them. So we thought, let's bring it back and do something completely unique, like talk about Magic cards. Nobody has ever done that.
No.
And we're the first people to. In fact, that's why we're naming this the official Magic the Gathering podcast.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
We're not?
No.
Okay.
Might have a couple problems with copyright infringement.
Yeah.
No. We're doing that. Okay, so, Alex,
Yeah.
you
So.
wanna take it away?
Yeah. Sure. Well, what is it? So there's some interesting things in Magic that you guys probably aren't as connected to the world of Magic as I am.
No,
but,
not at all.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about a few things that happen in the Magic world, and then we have some more interesting topics lined up for later in the podcast. So I guess for now we should talk. We should probably introduce a little bit of our experiences with Magic. I'm sure Aidan, you have a very unique experience with Magic that nobody else has. In fact, you just started one new collection today. Would you care to explain?
So absolutely. So my experience with Magic has been the past 2 years, 3 years. I played back at the start of like 2019, 2020, around then, getting used to like playing the game. I suck at it, and I think that's why I compensate for my skill with board wipes. Because it doesn't matter if you have to like think, if you can just remove whatever your opponents are doing. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So getting into the game, what I've kind of done the past 2 years now that I've like actively been playing, I started buying cards, good step there, spending plenty of money, and then putting the rest of the money that I put, what I should be spending on my decks, into just packs. I just buy packs and packs. I like gambling. That's what I'm trying to say. I like gambling.
Yeah, he heard about one method of opening packs recently called, what was it?
Flip it or rip it.
Dude, so for anybody who is not aware of Flip It or Rip It, you open the pack, and then you grab one to keep, and then you rip it, and then you just do it with the entire pack. I burned $20 so far doing that.
No, you stopped it with like your fourth one.
Okay, well,
not his fourth pack, his fourth fourth rip.
Well, I did rip like a Victimize, which I kind of needed, which was like, oh, that sucks. It's not the most expensive card, but it is signed by me and is stapled to the wall of the local game store nearby.
Yeah,
so, I'm taking that.
You also made for a name yourself also by buying like $300 worth of board wipes from him right now.
So I've started a few collections. The first collection is Mountain Goats.
I think even before Mountain Goat, wasn't it the Mysterious Egg?
Yes. So is it Mysterious Egg?
You bought both at like the same time.
So yeah, it was around the same time. But the Mysterious Egg. So I decided to take it upon myself to say, fuck it, and who cares about any strategy, as long as your deck is fun. So Mountain Goat, Egg, Garrison Cat, useless cards that don't do anything, and board wipes.
Dude, Commander players would never, honestly.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know who's doing that, but yeah, whoever's doing that needs to be like hunted down.
No hate to Commander players. We're all Commander players here.
But I started out on Commander, and so I bought 150 Mountain Goats before I learned that you couldn't do. It was 100 cards, and they couldn't be unique.
Yeah.
And then even after I learned that, I still. 50, I think it was like 50 to 60 Mysterious Eggs. Mm-hmm. I think I bought enough eggs to actually raise the price on
something like that. It was cents. A lot of Mysterious Eggs.
It's about the same as me hedging the market on Steam for train profile pictures.
We can't tell them about that one yet.
We can't. That's later.
That's a secret.
That one. Don't buy Train Simulator 2022. Do not buy them right now. I'm trying to keep them where they are.
You're not allowed to say that.
I didn't say which one.
It's not market manipulation quite yet.
If you're from the SEC, turn this off. Turn this off now and come back. Never. You're not allowed to watch this. But yeah, I have a very large Mountain Goat collection, a very large egg collection, and now as of tonight and it started like a week ago, but as of the past 2 hours, it's expanded heavily. Board wipes. So, any board wipe, specifically white, black, red board wipes. But I don't know if there's any red board wipes, but there probably are.
There are.
But they're probably expensive. So I go for just the white ones, because there's a lot of them. And then I just buy them up and I put them in a corner in my house away from me. And it's great. And it's, I mean, I don't do anything with them and I don't play with them, but they're there.
Well, out of the board wipes you've played, what's been your favorite so far?
Oh, God. Well, so God's, what is it?
Wrath of
God. Wrath of God and then Day of Judgment are the same thing. Except God, Wrath of God as no regeneration. But if I was going to say the one that I've been playing with the longest that I enjoy the most is easily Ruinous Ultimatum. Because you just win the game. There's I don't think I've played a game where I've played Ruinous Ultimatum where somebody hasn't won. It's been game. Like, the minute you play Ruinous Ultimatum, there's no response. But out of the funnier end of them, recently, Armageddon. Armageddon is stupid. You just destroy all lands.
That'll definitely make some people have certain opinions of you when you play it.
It's really funny to play. It's expensive in the sense that it's $10, but it's like 4 mana to cast, 2 white, 2 colorless. Yeah, I think something like that.
It's 3 in a way, I think.
Yeah, you play that, and it's, I mean, and plus I play with like Pearl Medallion, so you're paying that to just axe somebody all of their lands. However, I'm horrible at the game, so I play it when people have a lot of mana stones out, so then I just get killed instantly. So there's not much that I can do there. But I like Armageddon and I like Ruinous Ultimatum because, well, I mean, Armageddon I like because it's funny, but not because it's good.
And then this board wiping playstyle is also sort of seeped into your modern deck.
Yeah, so this is insider information for anybody who's looking to invest in anything. If you want to invest in Magic cards, the new thing to invest in, and I'm saying this right now because this is going to take the world by storm, is board wipes. And not just any board wipes. Specifically, Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, and I think that's it.
You also
going to be running Farewells?
Yeah, you run Farewells.
Well, Farewell, if Farewell counts. Well, Farewell's kind of... Yeah, Farewell is a board wipe.
Farewell's already like $10.
Yeah, it's a pretty expensive
one.
Yeah,
we'll fact check ourselves with the graphics. So don't even listen to what we're saying.
Yeah. So, Farewell. But the thing is, I feel like you can sacrifice skill for board wipes because you don't need to actually play the game if your opponents can't play the game. So
all you do is count to 4, which is when you cast your first board wipe.
Yeah. So, and it's really weird because I feel like black is mostly the removal color. So I'm leaning heavily into mono white removal, which is about as unheard of as trying to play the game, but not.
I guess I wouldn't say it's unheard of because like white does have some of like the better removal. It just doesn't have like a lot of removal, I guess.
Well,
like,
yeah,
but its removal pieces are insane, like in quality. So.
Yeah. So for Wrath of Gods, I think we have 2 Day of Judgments in there, and you want specifically Wrath of Gods if you're doing this because of the regeneration bullshit. That fuck you. I hate that shit. Because that's like a 1993 mechanic, right?
Yeah.
It's like something old ass mechanic that actually has like apparently some people use it. Whoever uses it though, I don't know who would use that.
It's a mechanic that's older than we are.
Exactly, and it shows its age when you use it. So if you want to look your age, don't use regeneration. You know, that's just a piece of advice there. But you want to use. I think it's 6 board wipes, and then we've got 4. Then we've got Farewell, but that's on the sideboard. Yeah. Then specifically, then if you really want to if you want to do some nose candy in terms of deck building, get 4 Solitudes, then get 4 Disenchants. Then you're gonna want basically 9. So we did the math. Very cheap spells. 20% land draw, or 30% land draw, sorry. So 20 lands at most. Probably can reduce that if you're working with that. That's a big thing. Do the math on your decks, even if you're not good at the game. I do the math on my decks and I still lose, so I don't know if you really want to trust me. But it works.
You know what they say? Math is for blockers, and with board wipes, there are no blockers.
But that's the thing, is it works really well. If you just keep playing board wipes over and over, and if you play mono white, you don't have to worry about things. Do not do fetch lands, because fetch lands are stupid. But then once you do board wipes and all that sort of stuff, have a bunch of per this guy's suggestion, it was a great one to put a bunch of lands that just shit out creatures.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and either you win by the creatures, or you play 60 turns and then you win because you went second. You know what I mean? And that's, you know.
That's why you got to mulligan first. So you put more cards back into your deck.
Yeah, actually, I never even thought about that. That's a great idea.
It's really not. Don't do that.
Do that. In fact, do that and do that now. If you don't do that, that's why mulligan isn't good. That's actually why I start the game with no cards in my hand.
You mulligan down to 0.
Mulligan down to 0. Unless I need Leyline and Sanctity, and then I just keep mulliganing until I get Leyline.
Yeah,
and if I don't.
Yeah. What is it? I play Burn in Modern, and I was not ready for Leyline of Sanctity, even though I'm pretty sure I told you to put...
told me to put it in there, but it was wildly stronger than that.
What is it? I told Leyline of Sanctity so you could play around Thoughtseize, which was like... which would be like kind of sucky if you lost your board wipes, but turns out it's just really good against Burn, which does a lot of target your face spells. Which
and if you want to like further increase the impact of preventing that, because most of Burn is in red, so just play Sanctifier.
Yeah, that one's also to play against red black.
Yeah, well, it's just protection from red black, and you just. Burn is broken. You can't do anything with your burn because it's got no impact. Yeah. So then you've got actual damage you're getting on the board, and then you got damage you're able to give back without getting your shit blown up, and then you can't personally get killed. I mean, the funny thing is you're gonna have to basically blow the first game because you're gonna get hit with a crap load of burn.
It is a very sideboard, like post-sideboard matchup.
Yeah, you're not playing Leyline at the start of... Yeah, it's not in the main deck. Yeah. Though I think the thing about board wipes is it's not in the meta. And keep in mind, this is... Hear me out here. This is coming from somebody who has never played in a tournament, who doesn't play in tournaments, who would like to, but has never done that. So... When I talk about meta, I'm kind of talking out of my ass here. So this is why we have him. He tells me when I'm wrong, and I stick to that. You're right.
Yeah.
But so I don't play tournaments, so I don't know what the meta is. But you've played decks that you've told me are meta, so I have a very sheltered view on how tournaments work.
Yeah.
So...
the extent of testing we've done hasn't been like that deep, but it's been like enough to give you an idea of like what decks you would be facing if people were like playing to win. So.
Yeah, we played with I played against 5 decks I think so far. Yeah. I've won 2 of them, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's like better than my commander win rate. So
yeah, fair enough.
Like I mean, you tell a gambler those odds, and they're going to be betting on them every single day of the week. And as a gambler, I am. So I think it works pretty well. I mean, I think board wipes are just... The fact that board wipes aren't used very much in Standard is something that I think people need to kind of do more, right? Because board wipes inherently clear everything off. Granted, there's not a lot of like artifact-only board wipes that I know about that are on the same cheapness as... and not money-wise, but mana-wise.
Yeah.
Because... I mean, and the reason why I say artifacts is because Brian here plays a deck that's literally like only artifacts and has affinity for artifacts. So turn 1, he shits out 4 things onto the board, and that one of them is a land. And, it's like, it feels like I'm playing Commander again, because he plays his Soul Ring into his Golgari Signet, and then he taps this to play Lembas or some bullshit.
I feel like that's a very specific reference, isn't it?
It's a very specific reference.
for all but one people who don't get it. This is a turn 1 I had in Commander last night.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. It's like, oh my god, like I'm losing my shit when I play against. Well, I don't lose my shit. I just sweat a lot because turn 2, anything can happen really. And I mean, in your Commander deck, you've got. You got like islands or dual lands. Like, yeah, of course you have islands, but you have like dual lands and stuff. So you're able to play stuff a lot quicker. And if that was your turn 1 with your deck, you're winning turn 2, turn 3. And considering my deck is, I think we put it up to 10 board wipes, and that's a commander deck, 10 board wipes. Yeah. I think I think I made sure it was 10 because I was like, I want a 10% chance. Yeah. I draw a board wipe.
People who don't know the statistic, most people recommend like 3 board wipes max. But
3 board wipes, but I fucking said. Fuck that. I think the more board wipes you have, the better your deck is. And I think that's a great. I mean, look at all the top 10 decks. Did any of them have board wipes in it?
I believe as of now, no. Well, I'm thinking of them have like no, because most decks kind of swap their board wipes for like efficient removal. Because I guess they're looking at the cost of board wipes versus the cost of like things. Because what is it? Like you saw, like Path is like 1 mana. Like Solitude is free. March is like also free. Lightning Bolt's
Free-ish,
like 1. Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
a lot of it is like they prefer like surgical remove 1 piece browser. You're going for like the just. I don't want to think. Just get it all out of here.
Yeah, yeah. It's the very much like it's like the foamers removal is board wipes.
It's
I don't think.
it's like like I could spend time trying to math out like what the best like most efficient like 1-for-1 I can make in this board, or I could just 1 for like 5.
Well, yeah, I think that's like that kind of like comes down though to a level of like. I think this. Well, I mean, I say this, but in most of my experience testing the deck against people, I end up playing board wipes against like 1 creature on the board because I think the surgical removal. Because a lot of board wipes are sorceries, so you just keep the instance in your hand for when things get things with haste. Things with haste are good to kind of. Well, I mean, like Solitude's not a board wipe, so
yeah,
you play Solitude and you're fine. You just exile stuff, but then I feel like what's nice about the board wipes too is having a crap load of board wipes. It gives you, and you don't have a lot of mana, and you get Solitude. You don't really have any remorse for dropping a board wipe because you already have 3 more in your hand.
Yeah,
so you can just keep playing cards over and over and over again, and it works out. I think it definitely works, and I think it's something that not a lot of people are expecting. So the moral of the story is to buy as many board wipes as possible. And
from playing against his deck, my opinions have been. Try to 1-for-1 his board wipes as much as possible. So you play 1 creature.
And then just wait.
You make that creature a big enough threat where he has to spend a board wipe on it. Then like with some kind of like equipment or something like that. Then that creature you let it die. Then you just play another creature, attach something to it, and then he has to board wipe again with just one dangerous creature on the board. That's how you win. You just wait until he runs out of board wipes.
I'm going to be real with you. There's no end to the board wipes, and any creature you play is worth board wiping.
I get it. Right? No, that is true. But like, at least me, because I play a version of Affinity where it leans into the modular synergy with Arcbound Ravager and some of the other Arcbound cards as well. So, and it runs Zabaz as well to get double counters on Arcbound on modular triggers. So the benefit of that is, I like playing, off meta, and so you get a little bit of life gain with lifelink in there with Arcbound Mauser and some of the other stuff that's off meta, which is how I win against stuff like Burn as well. But playing against his deck in Modern, it was just okay. I play 1 creature, I attach an equipment to it, make it enough to kill him, and now he has to board wipe it. And he has to board wipe every single creature I play. And if I play enough draw, I outdraw him, and eventually. It's a very boring game, but eventually I win.
Well, we did go like turn 30, and then I think you just conceded.
That was me with Leyline of Sanctity.
Yeah.
Because I have outs theoretically against Leyline of Sanctity. You just have removal for all of it.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, the way I play in Arena is also not exactly the board wipey, because there's not a lot of board wipes I think that are
you'd have to
valuable.
You'd have to play like Historic or like. Explore if you want good board wipes.
Yeah. So what I run in Standard is very similar though in the sense of preventing people, because I think it's much easier instead of having a complicated setup to what you do. It's a lot easier to just prevent your opponent from being able to do it. like stacks. Stacks I think are awesome. Stacks are awesome because it's like a puzzle. Stacks are awesome because they prevent people from doing what they want to do.
Yeah. You would think this man be a blue player. Right? With all the talk he does about stacks stopping people from playing. But no, he refuses to play blue.
Blue is just bad.
No, it's not!
A lot of the
best colors.
A lot of the best stacks creatures are in white and black. So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
it's true, but you think with how he hates people playing cards, he would just play a bunch of counter spells. But no, he's like, no counter spells.
Well, I think the problem with counter spells is you could counter the counter spells, but you can't counter the board whips.
Well, you can just counter the counter to the counter spell.
You can counter board whips though.
By playing another one. If I have 8 mana, I can play 2 board wipes.
Aidan, you gotta think about it this way, right? If you play a board wipe and you have counterspells in your deck and they counterspell the board wipe, you could counterspell the counterspell in order to still play the board wipe.
Yeah, but then it's expensive. That's a lot of mana.
But then you stop them from counterspelling.
Yeah, but I could just play 2 board wipes. Then you're asserting dominance.
But the counterspells are so much cheaper than the board wipes to play.
But it's not people expect that, right?
Sure, but what if you had a lot of board wipes and a lot of counterspells?
What if I had a lot of removal and board wipes?
And
Then
counterspells.
Yeah, but you can't have everything. You can't have everything.
Why not? You already do.
I don't
You
have
have all the board wipes.
I don't have. I can't play Thought Vessel. That's probably legal. Is that legal in Modern?
I don't think it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, or Reliquary Tower. So I don't have either of those. So I got a hand size. So I'd rather have 4, 5.
There's plenty of cards that increase your hand size in Modern. Like,
Not ones I give a
not
shit
as
about.
many-
Reliquary Tower is legal in Modern, actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
Reliquary Tower, yeah.
Well, then we might put that one in the deck.
Reliquary Tower, like, if you're playing a control deck already, you should have some counterspells.
Yeah, but I could just you know what my response to that is? Actually, in the deck we run Spellbinder.
Elite Spellbinder.
Elite Spellbinder. So you play Elite Spellbinder. So either you're going to counterspell that, or I'm going to see your hand, and then I'm going to remove your counterspell, and then I'm going to play my board wipe. So
that 3-1 flyer that removed your counterspell, it's gone.
Exactly. So, but that's where I think it I think if you have things in your deck that handle, it's like a Thoughtseize, but white Spellbinder. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but it can be counterspelled a lot easier, I guess. I don't know. Not really, I guess.
well, no, because if you counterspell the Spellbinder, then I'm still able to play my board wipe. And Spellbinder is only
It's 3 mana.
yeah.
Alright, I gotta freaking build like a mono blue modern deck just to counterspell,
Counterspell
every
tribal.
single-
Okay, so-
counterspell tribal.
But then nobody has creatures.
Exactly.
We're just gonna be this battle between counterspell.
I'll put like one like Thassa's Oracle. in
Well,
there.
actually, no, because I've got then it's gonna come. Well, actually, I feel like now that I think about it, counterspells could actually be pretty reasonable if you did a counterspell type removal where you just keep counterspelling. But the thing is, there's no bulk counterspell.
Yeah,
well,
there is.
bulk
Yeah, there is.
counterspell, like
Yeah.
you remove.
You can run
Well,
like
bulk counterspell is just called board wiping. But
No.
I guess there's blue board wipes and you
There
run.
are a couple of counterspells that are split second, which means that you can't play any counterspells after them. And then there's also a couple of counterspells where it's like stuff like Flutterstorm or like things that have Storm on it, where you can cast one card for like 50 counterspells. I mean,
Yeah.
50 is an exaggeration. I mean, that's happened to me before, but
Yeah.
most of the time it's like you cast one card for like 4 counterspells,
Yeah.
and then you counter all the things that they have.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, though, it comes down to with counterspells. Though, you could run counterspells and then do removal, and then as long as you plan on preventing that sort of play, and then to be able to remove. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to removal. You just need removal.
You're just
a
describing a
shitload of
control
removal. Yeah, we actually were talking about. Is my deck considered control?
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't think it was,
Well,
but you said it.
It's
and
like
that's the
a
final.
it's,
You were
well, because like
genius.
they're like control isn't like a one linear archetype. There's like lots of different ways you can be
Yeah.
controlling. Because like the 3 main lines you can go is board wipes, removal, or counter spells.
Yeah.
And if there's more, feel free to let us know in
Yeah.
the comments if you ever watch this. But like there are control isn't like a very just like sort of like burn isn't like very as one dimensional as some people may think. Control isn't as one dimensional as people may think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I mean, to an extent, though, I think it comes down. I've been saying that a lot. To an extent, though.
to an
But,
extent, you have been saying to an extent a
Yeah.
lot.
To an extent, though. I think removal and control is a lot stronger because what I do in standard though is I play stuff like Virus Beetle and Ninjutsu to keep cycling them out. So I have my own shitty version of Thoughtseize basically in standard that you cycle. You just remove everything in their hands. And then eventually you either remove all the stuff that they wanted to play, or you remove all their land, and both of those kind of work. And also, I don't know, it's legal for another year, but Circuit Bender is pretty nice because of it exits the battlefield you draw, and then when it enters the battlefield you gain life.
Yeah.
So that works great within Ninjutsu because you play that and you pop it out. But then if you just have something stupid like what's the name of that stupid thing? that makes all the things over and over again.
What,
What's the name of
Don't be more specific.
it's the thing with the things that makes a lot of the things.
Yeah, I know
That then
exactly
you
what
need
you're talking about.
It's the thing with the green.
The
Thing with the green that makes a lot of the things. That's Scoot Swarm.
Scoot Swarm. Okay,
That's
yeah, there
the
you
things
go.
that makes the things. Yeah.
There's so many of the cards like that. Aidan.
Yeah. Well, Scoot Swarm, you're kind of screwed. But is Scoot Swarm even legal? I haven't played Arena in like a year, and I
It's
started
not legal in
playing it again.
standard.
It is not. I thought Scoot Swarm was.
Not in standard.
It's not anymore.
No.
It was never.
Well, it was legal like at some point, but not anymore.
Oh, thank God! I was wondering why I wasn't seeing it.
Yeah, you're like a year or
I
two
am a year
behind on
behind.
that.
I played Arena a lot last year, and then I went to back to class, and I just Arena dropped out of my brain, and then I picked it up again 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I was playing in work.
Oh.
Let's hope
hope my employees are not watching that. Well, I had nothing to do, so I was gonna play Arena.
You hear that, Aidan's employers got to give him more stuff to do. Otherwise, he'll keep playing Arena on company
Please,
times.
please. If on the off chance that my manager is watching this, please give me more things to do. Well, that has been archived forever. Though, if on the off
Taken
chance,
out of context, 5 years down the line.
yeah, but on the off chance, if my manager actually is watching this, thank you very much. You're a very awesome guy. Yeah. All right.
All right,
I need to
that's-
make sure
that's
that part was
what
also
Aidan
okay.
plays.
Yeah. So that's what I play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I think you sort of already touched on what you do. You like
Yeah.
all the artifact shenanigans.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I like to draw cards, make my cards cheaper, and then play more cards and play cheap cards. So I like to play a lot of cards that are really cheap. So artifacts kind of fit naturally into that theme. Current modern deck, like I was saying, is modular affinity, and then I'm playing right now. I'm playing Optimus Prime as my commander because that's a funny card. It's always
card.
really funny when opponents die to a truck.
It was maybe 2-3 months ago, or maybe it was 2-3 months ago that I learned that modern you don't have a commander in. I thought you had a commander in every format except standard. And then I learned that that's not true.
You probably just saw the companions and just assumed they were playing commander.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, fair enough.
Modern is too many comedians. Yeah.
I was just because I remember you were making you had a commander Zabaz deck, right?
I did,
At some
yeah,
point?
yeah.
So you did that, and then you transitioned it over to your modern deck.
I did.
And then I was just like, well, I figured he's using Zabaz as his commander in modern, so it was kind of like a stupid assumption to make that's how that works.
Yeah, but I guess everything. What made you sort of switch from? I know you've sort of talked to me through why you've switched from Zabaz to Optimus and sort of in Garma. What made you sort of leave behind the Zabaz for Optimus?
I guess the biggest thing is
It's a truck.
one thing is it's a truck and it's really funny to kill people with a truck. The other thing is Zabaz gets removed really easily because he's a 1/1, and a lot of time his ability is decently powerful. But it's not quite powerful enough to have as your commander that you're spending, once it gets removed, you're spending 3-4 mana, you throw 3, 5, 7 mana on this 1/1. And sure, the ability is powerful, but it's not really worth it to spend that mana when there could be other things you're spending the mana on. For example, Optimus, the hero. So it's I really like that ability, but there wasn't enough good cards with synergy to make that ability worth that additional mana spend. That's really why I swapped.
That's fair enough.
I'm still in that 1/1 counter kind of area space though, because that's pretty fun.
The way Living Metal works, you need to. It's a vehicle, but it only is not a vehicle on your turn.
Yeah, and because
and
because all the Transformers I believe share this trait that they don't have a crew cost, so there's no you can't crew the vehicle. You can't use the vehicle mechanic to make them
Oh, I
creatures.
did not know that actually.
Yeah.
So they're just stuck
So
as,
they don't block.
They don't block. No,
Oh.
you got to make sure they convert before you can block with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then when you convert before.
So you can play them. So Transformer cards are actually, I like the mechanic. I think it's pretty similar. The mechanic
Nice job,
is,
Wizards. You made a good gimmick.
I do actually like the Transformers gimmick. Yeah, the living metal where you can play it as the converted cost, where you can play it as your vehicle, which has abilities on your turn, and they kind of can convert if you were to a creature given a certain set of conditions. So it's a way for you could say you play that card for cheaper. You can meet those conditions and you can convert it into a normal creature. It's a way to kind of get your cards out cheaper, and as long as you have enough synergy and support for them, you can kind of play this much more powerful creature for significantly cheaper, which is kind of one of the things I like to do. So it kind of really fit into my playstyle. Like I like playing big things, more powerful effects for cheap, which is normally pretty strong.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have nothing but praise for you, Wizards. Please don't sink the Pinkertons on me.
No, it's fine. We're talking about cards that are already out. Don't cancel. Don't cancel. No, but are there any like standout cards that like you've had I guess have either survived from the Zabaz deck or cards that you've been able to add because you've sort of expanded out of the pure modular strategy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously things that return artifacts from the graveyard, like Wake the Past, very good. That's survived. Some of the other modular stuff actually has survived. Like some of the Arcbound Shikari, Arcbound Tracker has survived the transition from Zabaz to Optimus, just because those are still very good. Even though they have the modular ability that's not as good without Zabaz, they're just the ability to transfer 1/1 counters from your creatures onto another thing. Still really good when you have this Optimus Prime that's really big, and then he's really hard to remove. And then kind of playing into the whole 1/1 counter thing again, you have stuff like the Ozolith and Resourceful Defense, which allow you to keep all your 1/1 counters when your creatures leave the battlefield or when they die. So it's I kept a lot of that kind of modular style moving over into Optimus, even though you don't really have that additional Zabaz trigger. Obviously, I also kept some of the Arcbound Ravager for win conditions.
Yeah, you've gotten a few people with that. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like they just swing, they just don't realize you have the Arcbound Ravager, and you're like, okay, don't block. Pay you for like 30.
I have. Yeah, that's I sacked. And Arcbound Ravager is really good with Power Depot. It's a card that's not really played a whole lot, but it has modular one. It's an artifact land and it's a rainbow land, as long as you're playing artifacts. So it's actually a pretty good card to combo with Arcbound Ravager, I found, because if you're going for that win, you're sacking everything. Every +1/+1 counter can really matter. And so the fact that this land has a +1/+1 counter on it can really save you in a lot of situations.
That's a lot of setup just to get bored.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. What is
That's
it?
why I run counter spells.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is it? Like, I guess
That's why I run 20 board wipes.
it definitely is one of those cards that it does a lot. Because like you said, it fills so many roles. Like, it's an artifact, it's a land, it's a rainbow land. It has a +1 counter for your modular stuff. I think the only thing that actually is, I think it's crazy on it. Does it being tapped change your opinion of the card at all?
Yeah. The fact that it comes in tapped means that it is a bit weak, but most of my cards are so cheap that having my lands come in tapped matters a lot less than the fact that they're artifacts. Because I'm playing stuff with Affinity, Thought Monitor, stuff like that gets cheaper based on the number of artifacts, or gets stronger based on the number of artifacts I have. So I care more about the fact that it's an artifact than the fact that it's comes in tapped land. Mm-hmm. And then because it's because I have mana rocks as well, stuff.
Yeah. That was just my dirty, optimal commander mind going off there. It's like, oh, sure, all this stuff, but it's tapped. Gotta
Do you still play Brilliant Restoration? Because I remember you played that like a year ago.
Not anymore.
Because it's not a bad card, I don't think.
No, it's a little expensive. It does a lot. Like the words it says are all very good, but
yeah,
because of how pricey it is, it's like the 4 white you need to spend for it, which is kind of insane.
Well, that's why I feel like Great and Mono White, which what we were talking about. Mono White is going to be the new meta I have
I mean, it
never
already
played
is the meta.
tournaments.
It honestly is in a lot of formats. Mono
I
white's
think
mono.
what is it in,
Well, yeah.
in standard is a mono white deck, in Pioneer is a mono white deck.
I will die on the hill that mono-colored decks are better than non-mono-colored decks.
Yeah, I mean, competitively, sure, but are they as fun?
Of course they're fun. I get to play
No.
board
Oh,
wipes.
you're-
I get to play board
Yeah,
wipes.
that's a can of worms by saying monocolored decks are better than non-monocolored decks in competitive.
I personally think that because of just the pure land draw. Playing land,
Yeah.
because
I,
I
mean,
don't know.
just play rainbow lands. I mean, that's kind of. The
Well, also,
thing.
it's definitely cheaper for your mana base if you are in less colors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you're in less colors, it's cheaper. You don't have to run any of you don't have to buy expensive fetch lands. You can just run all basics, and it's basically the same thing.
Mhm.
You know, they granted in mine you have a bunch of basically factory lands. Oh, that's a great term. We're gonna coin that, factory lands.
I
Shit,
think
that
there- I
produce-
think-
there's probably
there are lands that are factories, which I do run.
Well, I
Fuck.
think
but you know, things that just produce creatures.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
So stuff that produces creatures for you as land is also really nice in mono decks
Mhm.
because then you could just be pumping out creatures even if you don't have any in your hand
Yeah.
on people's end steps. Because then you basically have diet haste, being able to create creatures on people's end steps.
yeah, that's
Because
a
it
pretty
comes
powerful
in-
ability.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I think if you're able to do that, yeah, it's diet haste, and you're
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
kind of do that against people.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I kind of found playing this deck, you know, I'm doing a lot of stuff with 1/1 counters and having them or modular triggers and getting board wiped by this schmuck. A lot of times, you know, if I don't have Ozolith or Resourceful Defense out, it's like all that work, you know, all the build up kind of goes to nothing. That's why I've started running a couple of man lands. Mishra's Factory, I believe, is one of them. Which is, you know, turns into the 2/2 assembly worker
Yep.
artifact, and stuff like that. Where you know after the board wipe, before the after you know modular triggers go in the stack, you can create that 2/2, and you know you can have an outlet for it. You know you can hopefully keep your board state alive for a little bit longer. Is you know actually very useful.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
I think a big issue though with running, well, I don't know. I'm kind of talking out of my ass when I say this, but I've been doing it all day. So one of the things I feel like the big thing with the affinity for artifacts though is you have to run a lot of artifact lands. And when you run artifact lands, when Wizards eventually looks for the money opportunity and presents a destroy all artifacts board wipe, that might become a problem. Or exile or because you have indestructible on a lot of the lands.
I do.
If you have if there's something, well, farewell.
Farewell is
Farewell
is their answer to
is
that.
the answer, but when they inevitably print one that's like 2 mana because they need to start milking out more money.
Get that power creep money.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're gonna be getting sets every like week. In 20 years, Magic's still gonna be around. We're gonna be getting sets every week that are new, and they're gonna have cheaper and cheaper shit in them. You know what they're gonna create? They're gonna create half a mana. They're gonna create a half a mana, and you're able to play the half a mana board wipe or the full mana board wipe, and then there's gonna be a half a mana. You know,
You play 2 half mana cards for 1 land.
yeah, they already got it with there's already those cards that have got half blue and half yellow or
Hybrid mana, you
white.
mean?
Yeah, hybrid
Yeah.
mana. They've already got it, so all they have to do is like they've got the images all made. So all they have to do is just get rid of one side.
Well,
And you've got half mana.
speaking of new sets to sort of date this episode, what is it? We got an interesting set for us as Commander players coming out, Commander Masters, which
Yes.
I have not looked at a single card in there.
Well,
In
Laura-
fact, I don't look at sets. I just buy them.
you just buy the packs.
I just buy the packs and then get disappointed when I pull
Get your
nothing.
money back.
Yeah, well, here, we can go over some interesting statistics for y'all.
Yeah, let's
I would
do
love
that.
to
to this
do
set. So, I mean, I'll put these on screen. But what is it? These 3 cards are from what is it? I guess for people who know their Magic history, these sets are originally from the set Portal 3 Kingdoms, which
Oh yeah.
notoriously
that's
was
sense.
They
known.
never made Portal 3. Stop lying.
Yeah. What is it? What is it? So the Portal sets were these like sets they made to get people like outside of the U.S. into Magic. So Portal 3 Kingdoms, as you can imagine, was based on like the 3 Kingdoms era in China, and the set was never, I guess, fact check me on this on all this obviously, but I believe the set was never actually printed in the U.S. The only place to get English copies of these cards was like through like some limited run Australia print.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
That's where Shoe Cavalry came from.
That's where Shoe Cavalry.
Shoe
comes.
Cavalry.
the best
Okay.
card.
Quick side tangent.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to cut you off. The greatest card to ever exist. If you're looking for something that's got that the biggest bang for your buck is
Let 'em
Shoe
go.
Cavalry. Or not just Shoe Cavalry, but anything with horsemanship. It's an incredibly old mechanic that can't be blocked by flying. Why? Because they're on a horse. See,
Yep.
no one has ever been able to take a person off of a horse unless they're on a
levels
horse.
in Magic. You got normal, like where everyone fights on the ground. Then you got flying, which is above that, where everyone fights in the air. And then you got the third secret level, where everyone fights on horses.
We haven't figured out how to get like things in the sky to attack the things in the horses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's-
little did you know, birds cannot hit horses. They're just
It
too
has
fast.
never happened. In fact, if you actually look at
You can
modern
quote him on
combat, if you look at modern combat, jets can't kill horses.
Yeah,
It's true.
True.
It's true.
But
never
anyway,
happened.
these three cards
But,
you see up here: Capture of Jingzhou, Loyal Retainers, and Personal Tutor. Anyone want to take a guess at how much Capture of Jingzhou costed before it was spoiled?
Oh, easily
Can you
like
blow up that a little bit?
It says it's a 3 and a blue that just says take an extra turn after this one.
Oh.
That's
Oh.
sorcery.
Oh.
it's 5 mana.
Yeah, 5 mana, just take an extra turn.
That was easily.
This is the first time it's been reprinted, besides the Judge foil from like early 2000s.
Oh man, that's probably. I would take a guess at saying it's probably. Well,
I'm saying 400.
I was gonna say around 200 to, but given the fact that it's never been printed, there's gonna be a limited
Well-
supply. I'd say around $1 grand.
Wait, are we asking the price before it was reprinted, or the price now that it's
Before it was reprinted. I don't have the current prices. Very professional, very professional.
Oh, before it was reprinted, considering it's only been printed a very small run. Oh,
And its second run was also very exclusive as a Judge foil, so
I would say it's probably like two
Yes.
grants. Two
Eight-
to one. Well, I don't know. It seems very expensive, but
So
you
I'll
do
say-
take another turn.
I'll say so. Another Portal 3 Kingdoms card, Imperial Seal, was reprinted in Double Masters 2022. That card was around like $400 for its like normal version until it was reprinted in Double Masters 2022.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
And so,
How
and
good was that card, though?
for reference, Vampiric Seal. I think that's the card's name. What is it? It's Imperial Seal. Sorry, Imperial Seal is the card.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's a Vampiric Tutor at sorcery speed. That's what I was trying to go. So,
Oh,
and that card was $400 before it was reprinted.
yeah. So this is probably like $200. I'd say $200.
I'm
just
still
went
saying-
fucking anywhere with my prices.
You went up to
I went up to
$2,000
$2
at one-
grand and then I'm back to 200 where I started. I'm sticking with 200. I'm sticking with 200.
I'm going 600.
All right. Well, Brian, you had the right guess at first. It was around $400
Oh, okay.
before it was
Okay.
revealed.
So we
Yeah.
were both 200 off.
Yeah. What is it?
Damn,
Loyal
I
Retainers.
should have stayed.
Yeah, Loyal Retainers and Personal Tutor are both like not that exciting. They're like 40 and like 30 each. But like I think one thing they're talking about that's really cool about these like master sets is they get to do sick like new art in like different places. So both Personal Tutor. So Capture Jingzhou keeps its like original like Chinese setting art, but because Loyal Retainers and Personal Tutor are sort of like more neutral name cards, they get to like do these sick new arts. I retweeted this thread by this guy on Twitter about it, but like you see Personal Tutor, it's like Strixhaven themed. It's like sorry, that was production issue on my end, but like Loyal Retainers is like it's like Dominaria and theme. Personal Tutor is Strixhaven themed. It's like you have the owl with Casmina.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's a cool opportunity to sort of like do new arts, and there's some other sick art treatments in this set. By the way,
There are. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. Aiden's pretty
yeah.
doesn't know anything.
Yeah,
But I'm really excited for some of the new arts that come in.
Yeah, another really cool reprint was the free if you control your commander cycle. So all these cards.
Oh yeah.
These all cards got printed at rare, which is really good for them. Fierce Guardianship is down from like $50 to like $35
Really?
now.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
And it's still gonna go down more. And they also got these sick new full arts just to keep all the commander players happy.
Yeah, Ikoria. Ikoria's not on there, but
None of
the
them were Ikoria.
No, the one from before was from Ikoria.
Yeah,
it was the flawless maneuvers.
Yeah, you can see Ikoria art.
Yeah.
Well, not even Ikoria art, but there's also like the medallions get reprinted.
Medallions are getting reprinted.
Yeah,
That's
no,
nice.
these are all like super sick. They're like really strong commander
I'm
cards. Like,
very excited for the value of my deck to just tank for a few weeks.
but you can buy while they tank, you can buy the new like bling version, the etched foil version.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely
True,
gonna
and
get
then
some
tank
of
another
those.
200 for them to go back down to 50.
Yeah, yeah. And then the next bit, they were printing these 5 lands, which are I guess what they call the battle bond lands. They enter untapped if you have 2 or more opponents, which
Oh, yeah,
that's
unique-
spectator seating.
yeah,
and
seems
stuff
seems
like that.
uniquely good in Commander. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
guys.
I run them all in standard. I love them in modern. They're so good.
But they get these sick new full arts and stuff like that. You know, we're kind of just
Yeah,
wrapping.
that's actually those look real nice.
Yeah, obviously, obviously, you know, you'll see like better versions of these than we have. We have a really jank setup for this, but
and they're on the computer and they're from official sources. We did not take actual copies.
no.
Wizards do not send the Pinkertons to our house.
True. What is it? The next thing
Again.
I'm more interested in is like this is like the actual like new thing they're doing.
Yeah.
It's called like the profile
The
frames.
profile
where,
frames are really
like
nice.
some of these are really nice. Like
The profile frames are at least going to be something that I blow a couple $100 just to stick into a binder and never open again.
look,
I'm very much looking forward to that because they look very good.
yeah,
They did a good
I
job.
put some of my favorite ones up here. Like I'm really into Kaikar because birds are like something I'm really obsessed with, just as the thing.
Very
And,
reasonable to be.
yeah, and it's I
Government
think
made birds.
yeah.
It's fact. Look it up.
Yeah, so there's some cool things for Commander Masters.
Yeah.
Also, like we got our like
Yeah, these
new
ones
full
I'm
arts.
really
I
excited
posted these in our Discord server a while ago, but like
Yeah.
you know, new bling for just cards that are in like literally every deck. So
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
if you want-
Command towers. Yeah, I mean the Spire command tower is actually pretty cool playing from the Lord of the Rings set. That one's actually really cool.
I'm gonna go on a limb here though.
But I do like the new Soul Ring. Honestly, it's probably one of my favorite arts of Soul Ring.
I think normal command tower is iconic.
No Command Tower is
No,
good.
it
It
is-
is iconic.
It
but,
is very iconic, and I
But
feel
we
like
just
having
haven't had a different. We haven't had that many versions of Command Tower.
dude, just reach out to Secret Lair and have them print you like a fucking dick. They'll do that. It's Secret Lair, and they'll do fucking anything. They did one. They've done like custom decks and stuff. Yeah, the Secret Lair will do anything.
Yeah,
Secret
we
Lair,
get-
please sponsor us.
The Secret Lair conversation is
That
the
would be
whole thing of that.
I would like the Lambert card.
I'm not gonna, so like a funny story about Secret Lairs. So one time, one of my roommates in college made these like full art Minecraft lands, right? Just because they looked nice, and we both like Minecraft. I was playing them at like a F&M, and some guy was like, "Dude, did you get a Minecraft Secret Lair? It's so sick!" And I was like, "I hate to tell you, man, these aren't real."
That is actually amazing, though.
Yeah, I'm like, he's talking about like, dude, how could I have missed a Minecraft Secret
I would
Lair?
have just been like, man, it's such a great thing. If you just look up like Minecraft Secret Lair, it's going for. But I
You gotta throw a picture of those in the podcast.
Yeah.
Throw the picture of the Minecraft lands. Yeah.
But that honestly would be something. What would be other like Secret Lair things that would just make no sense because they've done like random shit.
They
Like,
did
how
Fortnite.
They did Fortnite.
Yeah, the Fortnite cards, I will say I do like the Secret Lair cards and I do put them in my decks, mainly because it's so funny watching people's reactions to me playing. When I play fucking Supply Llama to discount my artifacts.
Also, most of the Fortnite most of the cards they did with Fortnite skins are like actually playable. Like they're
Yeah,
not,
they are, yeah. Oh, the Walking Dead, yeah.
they're
Well, I think
the Walking
oh, yeah,
Dead.
well, that was- yeah, that was
Well, The
the-
Walking Dead isn't just a Secret Lair.
No.
It's like an actual card in the game. Like,
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is...
which is. I hope Rick from The Walking Dead can get murdered by a Phyrexian in the last, like...
Yeah, what is it? They said they were gonna do like magic art looking versions of those cards at some point. So
Yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah, I believe that.
At
Yeah.
some point.
Dude, it's like Rick, fearless leader, and it's
Like-
like him, like... It's like the dumbest shit ever. It's like
Yeah.
whoever greenlighted this is like the same people over at Nerf that were greenlighting. Like, we're gonna make Overwatch Nerf guns. Like, dude, they suck.
That was a good idea if they only executed it better. Yeah,
Nerf tried a lot of crossovers.
They've done,
Fortnite,
it's the amount of crossovers that they've done. Though they need to like dial it back, or they need to lean more heavy into it, and they need to do like a Halo crossover.
The
Yeah.
Fortniteification.
Well, you know what would be a great crossover, and feel free to take this. This is a great idea. I'm not copywriting this. Phyrexians as the Flood.
That would be interesting.
That would be cool.
To me, the Phyrexians are like very similar to the Flood.
They're very similar to a lot of like very like horror based like corrupt your like self aliens. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. Definitely.
So sad.
Yeah, the only
What
thing
happened to
is
Chase?
that they're more machine than
Are they more
They're,
machine?
they're
Yeah,
machines.
they are machines.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
the big
then-
thing about Phyrexians that is different than a lot of the other like flood kind of style things is that they're machine. They're more like nanotechnology ish kind of thing. That's how they take you over versus
Oh man, there was
bio horror.
wasn't there some movie or something that's like very similar to that, or like series? Because it's not Halo, but I know there is one where it's like the machines that take. Well, okay. When I say the machines have taken over, and you're like,
Are
okay,
we
so
talking
Day
like?
of
Are we talking
Tomorrow,
like?
Terminator.
like everything.
Like what do you mean then by that?
Like I thought there was like some I don't know. I'm blanking on
Like-
it.
like you
But
go-
similar
you go
to
like-
the Flood.
you go
where
like
it's
Tyranids from Warhammer, or the Zerg
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
StarCraft.
Well,
Or,
Wait,
Zerg-
Zerg's machines?
No,
Zerg's
Zerg are
not
not
machines.
machines.
oh no, wait! I thought we were talking about like Flood.
specifically machine
Oh, machine takeover.
Because I know there's like there's got to be some famous game out there that I'm not thinking of that's like, well, I mean like Borderlands even to an extent has
Somewhat, I guess.
somewhat you could say
Yeah,
that,
we don't have our resident Borderlands expert for this
We don't.
No,
to
we don't.
confirm that. But hey, if you watch this video, Tim, you should leave a comment and tell us how right we are about that statement.
How wrong we are.
Dude, I love Borderlands, my favorite farming simulator.
It's like Stardew Valley, right? Borderlands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
must be.
They're
Like, all I
very
hear
similar.
about is farming for
Yeah,
jobs.
exactly.
Dude, my favorite thing about Stardew Valley is where that like one robot guy with the single wheel talks to you.
Yeah.
You know, he's got like
Yeah.
the one eye.
Dap or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I think that must be his name.
Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl.
Daryl.
Gerald, like the Walking Dead character. Like it's like the
Yeah.
same character.
Yeah.
I didn't know they
exactly.
did a crossover with Border. Oh, sorry, Stardew Valley.
Yeah, but now that we're on crossovers, though, actually, the current upcoming crossover, which I already sort of talked to you about, this is gonna be a Doctor Who crossover.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like Doctor Who,
am
but-
so opposed to that. there is no place to start without.
Well, here,
It's just
hear it
Oh,
out for a
God.
second. But we'll go through some of the cards. So this first card is the 10th Doctor.
ooh. Okay.
So as you
that's
can,
the name
it's
for a card.
just David Tennant.
It is just David.
I'm gonna be real with you. That art looks like they got it off of Tumblr. Like, that looks like Tumblr
Yeah.
fan art. Like that does not look like they pay. Whoever was the artist, I mean this in no insult. This is like good art, but I'm pretty sure I watched a 15-year-old draw this on YouTube a
it has,
couple
like,
years ago.
Yeah, like I guess in like a kind poking fun at kind of way, it has the same energy as like the D&D Honor Among Thieves cards, where it's like that's just David Tennant. like you get the D&D cards, like that's just Chris Pine on a Magic.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what else to say.
It's like
So I will say what is it? You can see on the left, the right there. There's like the special, like they call it. I forget what they call it, but it's like the TARDIS frame card where it's like
I like that.
like
frame.
that was like a little cool. That was
Yeah,
more cool. I
I
think,
do, yeah.
'cause it's like a little more stylized.
I mean, what is this time travel mechanic?
Okay, so for what I understand, for time travel, you can. So it says for each suspended permanent you own and each permanent you control with a time counter on it, you may add or remove a time counter. So that's for each time you time travel. So
Okay, so when you time travel, for each suspended permanent you own, you can add or remove a time counter.
Yep.
Huh. It's gonna lean really hard into suspend, and I don't. You know, I haven't done too much work with suspend. Is there a lot of good suspend cards out there right now?
Well, so this isn't about what the good suspend cards are, because if you read the first ability on the 10th Doctor, it says whenever you attack, exile cards from the top of your deck until you exile a non-land card. Then you put 3 time counters on it, and then it gets suspend.
Right.
So I guess suspend cards themselves are kind of like, but the
That's kind of was my opinion on them too.
yeah, but what is it? There's a lot of like interesting things you can do, because suspend means you cast it for free. So like you cast
Right.
your David Tennant attack, you hit like a 10 mana card that now is suspend 3. So even if you don't use his ability, you're still just gonna eventually cast this 10 mana card in 3 turns.
Right, but if I'm reading that correct, that looks like it's a 7 mana ability.
Yeah, but so the big thing about that is that
pay through the nose for that shit.
you don't actually need to tap. So if you like find some way to make like oodles of mana, you just suspend. And you time travel
True.
3 times, so you can remove up to 3 time counters off of something.
Yeah, but he's also
Yeah.
5 mana to cast.
Yeah,
I feel like
so-
Suspend becomes very valuable near the beginning of the game where things are a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It
So-
seems like a very weird use of mechanics here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because Suspend is like, I like my reaction to your question about Suspend cards. It's a very like underused mechanic. Like, there's some
It is.
interesting Suspend cards, but I'm really curious because what is it? So how they're doing these crossover this time is they're doing 4 commander decks where like they're all themed around different things. So you have new doctors, old doctors, the enemies of
Daleks.
yeah, it'll be all no, it's sort of all the enemies of
Oh,
the
all the
Doctor
enemies.
in like one deck, and I forget what the 4th one is, but I'll put a picture of it up here so just to make it seem like I remembered.
Yep.
But so yeah, I guess this means like the new Doctor's deck will sort of focus a lot on time time stuff, which I guess is why they're bringing back Suspend. So I guess what remains to be seen is how interesting this is because it's similar to I guess how they did the Warhammer decks, which a lot of people thought were a great success.
Does anybody
Yeah, they
actually
were,
watch
they were.
this show?
I did.
Oh yeah, I watched Doctor.
Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have
What? No!
dude.
I thought this shit's been going on since like the 80s.
Well, okay, so
It had a reboot.
So yeah, there was like Doctors 1 through 8 were like the original run of the show, and then in like the 2000s they started at the 9th Doctor and now
And
to where we're
continued, yeah.
What happens to each of them? Do they just get killed?
Oh well, so the Doctor goes through this process called regeneration when they reach the end of their kind of lifespan as this incarnation of the Doctor, and so they turn from one person to another person, pretty much instead of dying.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna
it's
we're gonna ignore all of the new like lore canon-y stuff that they did with the Timeless Child because I personally don't understand it, but all I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
it changes the lore a lot.
Do you guys
It does.
still watch the show?
No.
I stopped watching it like the 13th.
Well, currently the show's on a break.
Wait,
Yeah.
what Doctor are they on?
I think
This
they're
isn't
14.
even the current one?
No.
Who is this guy?
David Tennant.
David-
Who is that?
He's one of the like more popular Doctors.
he was the
in
10th Doctor.
Yeah, yeah. So
He was the 2nd Doctor of like the reboot.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, David Tennant.
What are
and
they
Matt
on?
Smith.
What Doctor?
The
are they
Doctor like they kind
they're
of
on
broke. They were supposed
14,
to stop on 12, but they kind of broke the rules. They're on like Doctor 14 now.
I'm pretty sure they're on 14, right?
Are they just not going to stop? Are
Because
they going to
Peter
get to 20?
Capaldi was 13th, and then I don't remember her name, but she's the first female Doctor.
Yeah, she was 14. Oh, so they're on Doctor number 15 now.
They're on
then.
Doctor 15. I didn't know her run was over.
Her run is over. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What is it? So
You guys are actually like into this. Like,
Oh, man.
yeah. Anyway, so like my personal take on what is it? How so I'm like in the movie where it was Matt Smith's last run. I'm like they broke the rules. They're just like. They're like, we spent this like years following this guy. He's like, the 12th life was my last life. And then the time was like, no, just give me some more. Here you go.
Yeah.
this cash cows keep printing, man.
that's
They're
what
like the
they
federal
did.
bank
That's
just
what they
like printing money.
Yeah.
No, but they got all sorts of stuff. Like, they also made the TARDIS into a thing.
I just don't think this needed to be in Magic.
You know, Magic. I mean, that's what people said about a lot of things.
All right, well, you know what? When they bring in Glorious Bastards to Magic, I'll be excited.
Yeah, this one's interesting. I mean,
How many Time Lords are there going to be? I mean, how many Doctors are they making as cards? I guess
Until
it's
it
so
stops making them money.
they made
They're gonna keep
enough
going.
Time Lord cards where they made 2 different commander decks centered around the Doctor. Like I said, they're doing one for the old Doctors and one for the new Doctors.
Okay, so there's actually enough targets for the TARDIS's ability then.
Yeah. So notably, this one's actually very interesting. So you see how whenever the TARDIS attacks, if you control a Time Lord.
Yeah.
So Time Lord was the first 2-word creature type that they've done. So when you refer to a creature type, you can't do Time or Lord individually. It is Time Lord.
Greg's, you're making things a lot more fucking
Yeah,
complicated.
exactly. So if we go back, it says, the 10th Doctor, he isn't a Lord, and a Doctor. He's a Time Lord and a Doctor.
So that
Yeah.
means we're never going to be getting the or Lord. Or no, sorry, not the. Time or Lord as individual.
Creature
Well, I think
Things.
Lord. I
I
think
think
they're.
Lord is already a creature.
Yeah,
type.
but
It
we,
is?
Yeah.
So why don't they just hyphenate it? Just put a hyphen. Dude, I
I
fixed
think
it.
they-
I fucking fixed it. You're welcome.
They gotta be lore accurate.
Look, this is Wizard of the Coast.
Put an underscore. Do what we do with variables.
Yeah, clearly they're cooking something, but
Yeah,
What
I don't know if I'm allowed to
Whatever
cook
they're
that.
cooking, it's shit.
yeah, what is it? So we got
My
so-
opinion.
Oh, exterminate.
yeah, we got the exterminate and then the parting of the ways. Which,
Replicate. What is that?
replicate means you can copy it for every time you pay the replicate cost. So replicate. So exterminate is 2 and a black. With replicate, tap and untap Dalek you control. So for every Dalek, if you tap it, you get to cast another one. And it says destroy target creature. Its controller loses 3 life.
That's actually pretty powerful. Like as long as you have enough Daleks, right?
Yeah, that'll depend on how many Daleks there are.
There's like 5.
Well, you get to replicate it once.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, and then I don't want to read Parting the Ways. I'll just put it on screen. But I think I mean for Doctor Who fans, this is pretty sick because like they got the Bad Wolf reference. There's Christopher Eccleston, and there's a Dalek exploding. Like it's pretty sick.
You know what the problem with this though?
What?
Is we're gonna run to this thing where it's gonna either become outpaced by everything else, and they're gonna be forced to print more. Like, all right, guess we're going through the next few seasons.
Yeah,
I mean
Dude,
that's another card with the time travel wording on it though.
yeah. So it'd be very interesting to sort of see what they do with Suspend, and maybe we'll see some like wacky like new CEDH deck with Suspend as its main mechanic.
Yeah,
Dude, I
with
feel like
like
this
time
is-
travel cards or something.
This is like such niche mechanics that makes me really think I probably could make a train Magic the Gathering.
100%.
like I could put just niche
Vehicles.
railroad. Well, yeah, vehicles, but
Yeah,
like
vehicles.
niche mechanics.
There are some trains like
Oh,
As
I know.
vehicles.
There's the new
yeah.
Capenna Express.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
have that sleeved.
yeah. And then I guess the other like sort of tangentially the other main feature of these decks is Plane Chase. So they're bringing back Plane Chase. So we have
Oh, that was an interesting movie.
Plane Chase?
yeah, the camera just died.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on. All right.
Oh, there we
Sorry
go.
about that. We're back. We had a bit of a technical difficulty. The camera kind of died. Don't worry. We'll fix that in the next episode. So you shouldn't see a really awkward cut like this. Anyway, as we were talking about, to get back on track here,
If I recall correctly, what is that?
that's
That's what I was talking about.
oh these things. So basically, have you ever heard of the mode Plane Chase?
Yes, I have.
No.
Okay, so how Plane Chase works is so it adds a new deck to the game called like the planar deck, and how it works is a plane is sort of like this like enchant like it's like a world enchantment. It just sort of sits and does this thing. So like for example, we look at the TARDIS Bay. When the TARDIS Bay is the active plane, the first spell you cast during each of your turns with mana value 2 or less is Cascade, and then. So how Plane Chase works is everyone has this thing called the planar die, which is a die you can roll during your turn at sorcery speed. The first roll you get each turn is free, and then you pay 1 more for each roll. So your second roll costs 1, third roll costs 3, and it's a 6-sided die. One side has the Planeswalker symbol, and the other side has like that weird like circle-y symbol you see on the thing. So when you roll the Planeswalk symbol, you just flip a new plane from the deck. When you roll the circle-y symbol, which is called the chaos symbol, chaos ensues, which means the thing on the bottom happens. So if you're on the TARDIS Bay and you rolled chaos, it says when chaos ensues, gain control of target artifact, then planeswalk.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm having a fucking stroke here. This is like, I just heard that was the equivalent of listening to somebody explain 20 lines of code, but instead of explaining it, giving me line by line what it does.
I did go a little fast, admittedly.
No, it's not your fault. It's like, what the hell is this shit?
But this is a. Remember that video where I sent you? I sent you a meme where it's like it's just all the mechanics. This
is the equivalent of a tap somersault.
So it's this whole new game mode. It does all this stuff, and you can like go to different worlds. So
How popular is this game mode, and what kind of decks do you use to play it?
use whatever decks you want.
Oh, you can do it with like Commander or Modern or
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah.
Or...
So like
This
basically.
deck with this deck on it. And there's
I'm
my
gonna
deck.
tap this top deck.
So recently,
Can't play it anymore.
it was like there like when they first did this game mode, it was like with like meant to be a 4-player mode with 60 card decks, but with March of the Machine Commander, they brought it back as like a Commander like focus game mode.
Right.
So, like each of the March of the Machine precons comes with planar cards like this, so you can sort of make your own deck
How many planar cards are in the planar kind of side deck?
as many as you want.
You can have as many as you want.
Yeah,
As few as you want, or
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird thing, but like each commander deck from March of the Machines came with 10 planes. So, but I think there's like over like 60 in total. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. So if you planeswalk and there's only one plane in your side deck, does it just go back to that same plane?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not as fun if you just have the same plane, but
Well, I mean, if it benefits you and other people,
Yeah.
it might be,
yeah. The fun part about this is how it can sort of like immediately like flip things up. But
Oh
like,
no, you all share the same plane set, don't you?
This
Yeah.
seems very
okay.
similar to the battles.
yeah, it is
The
kind of,
siege.
it's
I
somewhat,
like the sieges better though, because they kind of fit into Commander more. I feel like.
it is somewhat like that, but anyway, like
Siege is a gimmick, though. that's the definition
Honestly,
of a gimmick.
Yeah, but some of them are pretty good.
yeah, every Magic set is let's put a gimmick in the set, and then if people like it enough, we'll bring it back eventually.
Dude, oh my god. I mean,
Do you
like,
know if
was
they're
it
gonna-
Mutate a gimmick that, like,
Yeah.
everyone hated? And
Yeah.
then there was the one where you could build your own creature.
that is Mutate.
Yeah, that is me.
Okay, that was Mutate.
Yeah. Do you know if they're gonna bring back sieges?
They said so. I think with how set design works, each set is designed 3 years in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the earliest we'll see new battles is in like 2 years.
Really?
Okay, and that's when everybody hates the fucking thing.
Well, I guess designing new battles has to happen for sets that come out in like 2 years
Right.
because they design these without knowing if people would like them enough for them to come back.
Fix
so.
your backlog. This is fucking stupid.
Yeah, and because set design takes so long, they have to
Dude,
put it.
just
Honestly,
just
we should
draw
make
art.
sets with good cards and not all this fucking filler bulk. Like,
Yeah.
like make a smaller number of cards. Just make them good though. And
No.
not so much bulk.
No, overprint it until the point where we make so much money, we sink everything into shitty, stupid fucking packs. Pick your product. God damn it. I fucking hate this.
But anyway, to sort of bring it back on track, we got the TARDIS Bay and the Bad Wolf Bay, which are like some pretty iconic Doctor Who locations.
Yeah.
Doctor
that's
Who
true.
locations I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause
Remember.
I'm normal.
you didn't watch Doctor Who. That makes you normal.
Yeah.
Not true.
I like how Earth is considered like not.
Earth is a plane, guys. It's not a place.
But also Earth has got like the non-magic thing. It's like the what is this, the seal that they use for that they used in the Lord of the Rings set?
What do you mean by
You
the
see- yeah,
triangle?
Yeah, it's got the triangle seal on it. So it's like Earth is not normal. Earth is not from this area.
Yeah, but it's just a picture of some random like English beach.
Is it canon that the Phyrexians invaded? Actually, does this take place after the Phyrexians invaded? Did Phyrexians invade
Earth. Yeah.
Earth?
Did Phyrexian invade Earth?
So, Universes Beyond are specifically not canon.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So, meaning that during March of the Machines, the Phyrexians, in fact, did not invade Earth in the Walking Dead, Earth in the Doctor Who universe, Earth in the Cybertron universe.
They also
Yeah.
did not happen to invade everywhere the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, they didn't invade Middle Earth. Middle Earth was safe from
That's-
the Phyrexians.
That's very unfortunate. I would have loved to see Bilbo get taken over by a Phyrexian
But
like
then you
Jace.
could have had the amazing magic team up of Ken and Optimus Prime doing their giant what is it Energon powered Shurioken into flipping a completed Rick from The Walking Dead who was trying to currently pilot the battle bus
Yeah. Rick completed.
Rick.
Is completed the Phyrexian thing?
Yeah.
Why does it have the name completed?
Completed. Yeah,
but it's
that's a
like
good question.
completed, but it's felt really
EAT.
weird.
So,
Yeah.
so the
EAT.
idea is that as the Phyrexians whole thing is like the flesh is weak. It's all like if you play Warhammer, it's very Adeptus Mechanicus. Like turn yourself into a robot and you're better.
Right. But
So being complete means like you removed all your weak organic bits and you're now a robot.
And now you're a complete robot.
Yeah.
So is Jace just dead right now?
Um,
What happened in March of the Machine?
What happened in March?
What happened in the aftermath?
Well, I don't even
That's
know what
the
happened in March of the Machine. I don't even know what has happened in any of this. I've been drip fed by Alex for the past 2 years
Fair
on
enough,
some
fair
of the
enough. So
lore.
yeah, this is now a lore episode, guys. So, let's dive in. Let's see how much of the lore I remember off the top of my head. What is it? So at the start of the March of the Machine, so how much do you know? Like, do you know like what happened at the end of Phyrexia Old One? Everyone got completed and stuff like that.
I remember it was Jace got completed, and that's it.
He didn't get back up.
Yeah, you didn't get back up. I remember just just fucking DMing random people. He didn't get back up.
Jace didn't get up.
Get
So
up.
what is it? It turns out Jace did get back up, but what? Because he died, he like.
Oh.
So the big thing about Planeswalker completion in like the whole like Phyrexian saga is that So normally when you complete somebody, they lose their like living soul, and a Planeswalker spark is tied to their living soul. So this is like the conundrum that Phyrexian has been trying to work with for a long time. So in the process of Jace dying, like his living soul died. Like he was more like just like a robot kind of dude now, or like a drone, and he could still do things. Like he was for some reason he was still like Planeswalk. I don't know, but basically Elish Norn is like so basically the scene is sort of like Elish Norn is like, I've won. I have the control of this tree that breaks open portals into all the worlds. So she like has this brilliant idea to be like, okay, so instead of like just slowly working my way into like worlds and like slowly completing them, let's just invade everywhere at once and see how that goes.
That's StarCraft meta.
Yeah. All of March of the Machines really is like the Phyrexians invade everywhere at once. Like there's Phyrexian crap going on everywhere in the multiverse, and people are sort of like dealing with it in different ways. Some places get wrecked, some places are able to fight back. The lore is that for some reason flipping giant. In the giant dinosaur world, the giant dinos can eat the Phyrexians and not get corrupted. Because like how the Phyrexian oil works, that if it touches you, you're screwed. Like the completion process starts the second like you get oil on you anywhere.
So, but we can eat you and we're fine.
Yeah, the dinos are just immune, or I guess not. But so the big lore beats that happen is that there's this character called Ren. A quick editor's note here. So in this lore deep dive, I refer to Ren multiple times as he when they are in fact a she. That's just on me. I was just sort of going through the lore at a million miles a minute and just missed it while I was talking. So yeah, just quick note: Ren is a she, and do ignore when I misgender them. Sorry. Who is a dryad who likes they can't really walk, so they like bond to a tree, and conveniently. Elishnorn's invasion strategy is to use a giant tree. So her thing is like, Chandra, you need to get me to that tree, and I will save everything. So, what is it? They do a bunch of fighting on Phyrexia itself. There's this like resistance force. This is like 20 years of story, by the way.
But I want to make it very clear, when you say this whole tree and we need to blow up this tree, I'm getting like Avatar vibes.
Yeah, we take the unobtainium in the tree.
We're gonna blow up the home.
yeah, but what is it? Like in like a short, like kind of blowing past a lot of things that need like a lot of context. Like they go to Phyrexia, and like there's this like team up force of like these like last holdout of rebels who have been fighting Phyrexia for like years, ever since like the plane got turned into Phyrexia. The backstory of New Phyrexia is that it was this robotic place that Karn made, but then Karn accidentally let a drop of oil fall into the plane, and that one drop of oil turned the entire plane, which was all machinery, into Phyrexia.
American moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
Oil.
And how the Phyrexians work, there's one Praetor for each color. So like Elishnorn is the white Praetor, Shieldred's the black Praetor. The red Praetor, whose name is Urabrask, is like, man, Elishnorn sucks. I want to fight her. So they kind of like half team up with Urabrask to like get Ren to this tree. And in all this, Ren like goes into the tree and finds that the tree is actually a completed tree. So there's like a living soul in this tree that she bonds with. And wait,
I thought completed was like the thing with the robots.
Yeah, but so in the way where like they made the tree able to sort of use its like powers to break open the world, it still kept like some.
Oh, so it still kept its soul.
Some part of itself is still the tree that it was originally. And another side note, so Teferi was doing stuff like trying to like fight the Phyrexians. He had this brilliant idea to be like, if I travel back in time, but don't actually travel back in time to learn how the Phyrexians were originally defeated, I can figure this out.
They just needed to call the doctor, man.
Yeah, they needed the doctor. They needed a doctor. Yeah, why wasn't the doctor there? He could have done so much.
This would have been very easy.
Yeah, what is it? So Teferi goes back in time, right? But so they make this machine that sends his mind back in time, but his body stays in the present. So he goes back and watches the Brothers' War. Now the Brothers' War is like its whole thing where
I thought the Brothers' War was 40K though. 40K's canon?
Yeah, 40.
Wait, is 40K canon?
No,
it's not.
The Brothers' War
is not.
Brothers' War is not 40K.
You're thinking of the Horus Heresy.
Oh, I thought
which is like its whole other thing.
Oh, okay.
This
I'm
is not
sorry.
a
I'm
War-
just like
but this is not a Warhammer lore episode. I'm happy to talk about it, but
I thought the Brothers War this entire time. I thought the Brothers War was the 40k stuff, so I was just like 40k's canon.
anyway, back to skipping through all the insane context. So, in the Brothers War which is where the Phyrexians were originally defeated by Urza. He was like, "Oh, that's cool," but then it turns out that the machine like bugs out or something and sends Teferi to like some random important point of time. But it turns out the place he got sent to was his home, so Teferi's protection depicts Teferi sending his homeland to the Shadow Realm. And the machine, by bugging out, sent him to that Shadow Realm with his home.
Man, he got sent to Providence, Rhode Island.
Anyway, and then part of it is so anyway, we're back to the main actual story. So Ren uses the tree to find the place Teferi sent his home and Teferi himself, and he grabs that Ren grabs that with the tree and then takes Phyrexia and just switches them in place.
He sends the...
He yeets Phyrexia into the Shadow Realm while bringing back Teferi's home plane to existence.
That's
So is that where Phyrexia's the Phyrexian plane is right now? And
Phyrexia's just like gone. But what is it?
What happened to all the rebels down there? Did they get just fucked?
No. Everyone was like, I opened a portal. You guys gotta go through, and everybody goes through, and then the Phyrexians are like, bye.
They just got.
Yeah. A lot of other things.
to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. So a lot of other things happen, and then what is it? At some point also during New Capenna's story, they learn. So Halo in New Capenna is basically like
Halo as in not
a drug,
not the game.
No, Halo as in the not drug thing that is flipping smuggled all over the place and kept controlled of and given out as a delicacy at parties. It turns out Halo is made from the essence of angels.
Oh God.
So anyway,
that makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
So anyway, New Capenna used to be ruled by angels, but then there was a Phyrexian attack on there long ago, and the angels were like, "Hey, demons, you'll help us and totally not stab us in the back, right?" And he was like, "Sure."
And
so they teamed up to fight the Phyrexians, and when they won, the demons were like, "Haha, backstab! You didn't see that coming." And now they harvest the essence of angels and turn into Halo. But it turns out Halo itself can cure you of phyresis if it's not too far gone.
Oh.
So
it's like MDMA but healthy.
yeah.
So Halo, can Halo
you
cure someone who's completed?
No. Well,
okay.
Yes and no, because they're very inconsistent about how it actually works. Because in All We One, they all drink Halo before they go into New Phyrexia, and then Jace resists his completion process for multiple hours. But then what is it? But then he ends up getting completed in the end anyway.
They ended up putting the Tesla Neuralink in his fucking head, and he was like, "Oh shit, I can play Pong."
Yeah, but then it's what is it? In the end, so they were out of the plane. So some other planeswalkers got completed. So Ajani, Nissa, those were all completed. They do some weird magic, I guess, with the Halo to cure both of them of their phyresis.
But they're still don't have their soul though. They're dead.
No, they have their soul. They didn't die.
Oh,
they were
completed.
They were completed, but because of the new Planeswalker completion process, they kept their souls, but their souls were in service of Phyrexia. It's a lot. It's really like I said, this is stuff that they've been doing for years in the story.
Whoever wrote this
where do you find the story?
Every set they released a couple short stories online.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of lore in the cards themselves.
I mean, that much is.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta say though, everybody else got their soul back. Whoever was writing this lore really doesn't like Jace.
He also really didn't like Luca. Luca got completed, and you wanna know all he did in the story? He went back to Ikoria and just lost. He was like, "Oh wait, no, I remember." So what happened was he went to Ikoria to invade Ikoria because they're like, "We'll send these planeswalkers to their home planes because they know them best." You know what happens to Luca? He tries to complete the beasts of Ikoria, right? But because the beasts of Ikoria are good at evolving, they just evolve to resist the oil. Just straight up. I'm just okay.
He's useless.
Yeah, he just dies. He gets killed by Vivian. Yeah, it was pretty. So this all happens. It's just so funny. What is it? But yeah. So anyway, they win. Frexy gets yeeted off. The Teferi's home is now real. And what ends up happening in the current like aftermath, the aftermath set, what happens is it's a lot of cleaning up and stuff. And the biggest story beat of the aftermath is that some planeswalkers lose their ability to planeswalk. And like that's currently where we're at right now.
So do I get them as creatures?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, really?
Like there's a Nissa creature now, and there's a
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where the Nissa creature
wild.
comes from. Yeah, and Ob Nixilis, who's a planeswalker, is now also a creature. And then it's like a weird thing that like now we're trying to move forward to this new story. The next few sets are sort of gonna like see how the planes are sort of recovering. There are still new planeswalkers, but a lot of the current planeswalkers now can't planeswalk anymore, which is like a big thing.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. It's really sad though to see that they don't have their ability to lose 2 royalty counters. Guard.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I would be really sad if I couldn't lose 2 loyalty counters and draw a card.
To all the lore nerds out there, I skipped a lot.
No, he told everything. That was everything.
Yeah,
there's nothing else.
All of the matches.
Yeah,
all of the matches.
yeah. The Brothers were the small events, you know.
Yeah.
The Brothers War is actually is 40k. If you've ever played 40k,
Also, Neon Dynasty just doesn't matter, right?
Well, the biggest thing that happened with Neon Dynasty is that the reality chip was actually a big part in how they could complete Planeswalkers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the whole thing was like they were playing like hot potato with the reality chip to like keep it safe, but then Tamio gets captured. Tamio gets captured when she has the reality chip, and that's what the blue freighter uses to complete her.
What is the reality chip exactly? In the sense of like, because I know the car, but like in the sense card, not car.
As far as I'm concerned, it's like this really big MacGuffin device that like this one dude in the city of Otawara builds, and how it works is like it just anchors you to reality or something like that.
It's a VR headset.
So like
we got this Oculus Quest. You put this thing on and you're like fine.
Yeah. So all I know really well about the lore is that the Wandering Emperor. So the Wandering Emperor's thing is that her spark isn't stable, so she just randomly like just planeswalks without her control. The reality chip basically keeps her spark stable enough where she doesn't randomly like zip herself away. So like she was hoping to sort of use that to like, you know, live a normal planeswalking like, because you know she's the Emperor of Kamigawa, she's kind of got to be around.
Yeah.
But that's when like Jin Taxius, who's the blue praetor, is like, that's mine, give it to me.
So that's like the Wandering Emperor. Is that where she gets the term wandering from?
Yeah.
The fact that she literally like dips.
She used to be called the Wanderer because she just kind of like disappears at free will. Yeah. Yeah, literally. But yeah, so that was like a tiny crash course of the current Phyrexian saga and how it ended.
We'll talk more about that at some point.
We can do like a
In
real
another 3 years.
we can do like a real lore exploration. This is just like a, you know, quick tidbit.
Quick tidbit because I don't know.
Just so Aidan could know what happened to Jace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got up.
He got up, he
got up.
left, and didn't show up in the story at all.
Has they not talked about Jace?
No, they haven't said what Jace did.
Really?
So basically, at the start of March of the Machines, Ellerstorm sends Jace on a secret mission, and then we never hear from him again.
He's at the grocery store. I need you to pick up.
He planeswalks to Earth.
This is what like the mission is. All right, I need you to go get everything on this list. 3 avocados, some lime, tomatoes, specifically of this kind, onions. Yeah.
No, because he was a computer. Because he was now a computer mind. Ellerstorm was like, you know, while the store is open, buy eggs. So he just kept buying eggs, and then they ran out of eggs. He was like, "Where are the eggs?"
He's just using Amazon with his mind. He just keeps shipping them through interdimensions.
Ellerstorm just finds a bunch of eggs and I'm just like, "What?"
Imagine getting the shipping address at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Like a completely different planet.
Yeah. But anyway, the main conclusion of all this is that, you know, if they just had, you know, the doctor with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. If they just went to
They just had the doctor.
Bad Wolf
Could have
Bay.
eaten the Phyrexians really easily.
Yeah, literally. Like I don't know what they were trying to do.
Yeah, should have just hired David Tennant. Yeah.
True.
All right. What's this next last slide that you have?
Oh, the last slide. So I'm sorry, I didn't fully explain all the mechanics of Plane Chase. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
So there's this thing called phenomenons, which
More
What?
shit.
so when you hit a phenomenon, so when you planeswalk, you normally hit another plane, but sometimes you can hit what's called a phenomenon, and that's
Are they
like,
just in the Planeswalker deck?
Yeah.
Or the Planes deck? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a one-off effect. So it says when you encounter a fixed point in time, until your next turn, if a player would planeswalk as a result of rolling the planar die, chaos ensues instead.
Player would planeswalk as a result of rolling the player die.
So it's a much more
Planar die.
in-depth version of Planeswalking,
Chaos.
this mechanic.
Yeah, it's
That's actually really interesting because it's like that doesn't seem like something Wizards would do. It seems like they would print out some gimmick that would fucking
Yeah,
make.
yeah.
And this
So-
actually seems like a very like.
So you have a
interesting-
plane in play, you attempt to planeswalk it, and fixed point in time comes onto the field, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it happens, and then you planeswalk again. So it says like then planeswalk away from this phenomenon. So it's like a one-time effect that just hits, and then
So you just trigger the chaos effect before planeswalking. Okay.
Yep.
And they're only making these with the Doctor Who stuff. They're not making anything like
Oh.
canon related.
they already
Oh no,
did.
there's a lot of canon.
They did
Oh, there is?
So
Yeah.
yeah, so they did an original run of this like way back, and then
Yeah.
with the March of the Machine Commander decks, they did a like they printed new like canon planes.
Oh, okay. I
So,
thought that was about the battle.
yeah,
Okay.
this stuff is just for like Doctor Who stuff, which is
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you see we got the fixed point in time.
And then Doctor's Tomb.
The Doctor Who, that was a great one.
Are you able to?
Trans of
Is this all legal in like Commander?
Well, yeah,
Oh,
as long
okay.
as you're playing the planes,
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah, but I mean, it should be noted that like these like the actual cards themselves are gonna be legal in Commander. Like,
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
you can play somebody playing the David Tennant Commander deck.
Man, that is awful. I hate that.
That's why I play Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a crossover. Who thinks of these crossovers for Magic?
Somebody at Wizards apparently.
Yeah.
Dude, they need to like
I think
talk to this
Hasbro,
guy and
yeah.
make sure he's like. I wonder if it's just like the things he's interested in. And at like the moment, he's like, "Man, I'm really enjoying Warhammer, guys. I really like Warhammer." And then it's like, so I've been picking up this new show. Is like one day is he like gonna come in and be like, "Man, the Halo show."
I mean, if we ever get a real good Halo show, maybe.
He comes in, guys. I love this show. I've been watching it for a while now. Suits. You know, like,
Suits, the Magic crossover.
Yeah, Suits or like fucking Mad Men, The Sopranos. Yeah, my commander, legendary creature Tony Soprano.
So I guess that brings up then an interesting question. Like, you know, if Magic were to do more crossovers, which I mean, let's be real, they are.
Yeah.
What are the kind of what are some stuff you like to see them cross over with?
Tony Soprano. I want Tap to make gabagool. Tap to make food gabagool.
I mean, a lot of it seems like most of the crossovers they had are like large elements of nerd culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Transformers? That's like
Yeah.
a staple of like 1 to 6 year olds and like basic action figures. I don't think that's
I
like
don't know.
nerd
I
stuff.
think that's pretty nerd stuff.
Well, nerd stuff isn't like nerd stuff. You can't like there's no game to Transformers other than
No, but they're very collectible. They're very collectible.
They are very collectible.
Yeah,
they're collectible.
Maybe they'll
Okay,
do
fair
a
enough.
mecha.
So instead of mecha here, Brian means to say Gundam. So he's referring to the specific anime, not the genre as a whole. Just in case that caused any confusion with everyone. Otherwise, nothing else. Just quick slip of the tongue.
They might do like a mecha kind of crossover.
I don't know.
That would actually be kind of cool.
I
With
think
all
that would be
whole
interesting.
vehicle,
Well,
vehicle
like-
mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like we kind of technically already got that with Neon Dynasty already.
Neon
Yeah,
Dynasty
we
has
kind
a
of
lot.
did.
Because there was a
but,
whole
like,
like Shiro kind of thing. He was supposed to be like
Yeah.
Shiro was like the big mecha.
Plus,
But
they
no,
got
like,
pilots and
like,
all that sort of stuff. Tokens.
yeah.
I mean, I think what would really be solid, like, I mean, I didn't really see much of the 40K stuff. How big was the 40K?
It was very good. Like it was
very good.
like it was like people like every like 40K fan and Magic fan I talked to loved those decks.
And just to clarify, that was not the Brothers War.
no, that was not the
Okay.
Brothers War. That was Warhammer 40K.
I was very certain that was the Brothers War.
No. So like I think they were not only like they were huge mechanical successes. Like the people who designed them like clearly like knew what they were doing. Like,
Yeah, I feel like, I mean...
like I'm somebody who is I'm more of the I don't care really what cards I'm playing as long as they're like fun to play with, and I had a lot of fun playing those decks. Like for
Okay.
sure.
I mean, they did do like Walking Dead crossover, so we could see actual anime crossovers,
Mhm.
Well,
like
I mean-
Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, some big anime crossovers.
But
One Piece.
It depends on whether... I mean, is there any crossovers that they've done that have been canon?
Like
No.
The Universes Beyond is specifically like
Yeah, not
non-canon.
canon.
Yeah.
But legal
Yeah.
to play. Yeah.
Okay.
So like that's like stuff like
For
Walking
One
Dead,
Punch,
Transformers.
for One Punch Man, that's like the fattest, easiest card to make. Just Death Touch.
Yeah, my
That's it.
biggest thing about like anime crossovers with this stuff is that like a lot of animes try to make their own card games. Like we were at the LGS
right,
and I was talking about
yeah.
the One Punch Man, or no, sorry, One Piece card game. Sorry,
Yeah.
but flipping
Same series.
yeah, same series. But I'm just
Oh
like,
God, so many fights.
yeah, but I'm just like, what is it like? You know, I feel like they have tried, like they've gotten secret layers with like famous like artists and stuff. Like they got the guy who did like all the Metal Gear concept art. They got some very like big name Japanese artists like Junji Ito did Magic cards, but it's like I don't know actual anime IPs they'd be able to get crossovers with.
I feel like a lot of
Overwatch was able to do a One Punch Man crossover, like
That's a fair point, actually. Yeah.
like, and they have their like skins and stuff in game, so it might be possible.
Yeah, from what I saw though, with Neon Dynasty, what I think worked really nicely though for like some of these crossovers, I feel very forced. Like this fucking
I
this
don't
Doctor Who stuff. Planeswalking, I guess. Okay, maybe, but actually, I feel like that
Doctor
would.
2 should be a planeswalker.
Yeah, I am actually surprised
Doctor-
that he's not a planeswalker now that I said
Yeah.
it a lot. But I think it's like cool and sure, but I don't think it like. I feel like it's really forced. I think what worked a lot better was with in Neon Dynasty. They did like a lot of references to anime. Like I know they had a lot of. I personally have not watched it, but I know from people I've talked to and stuff. There was a lot of references to like JoJo in Neon Dynasty, which I think is a very good step in the right direction towards like. I think it's like really cool, where it borders on like parody. Where I think that looks a lot cooler than just
Like
we're
just-
gonna shoehorn in fucking Doctor Who.
Rick from the Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
Rick from the Walking. Why
I re-
is Rick from the Walking Dead? That wasn't even like a
He's
good
also like
series.
he's also like an insane card.
yeah. It's like there's no
I mean,
reason for that.
If we have Rick from the Walking Dead, who says we can't have Star Wars magic cards?
Lucasfilm,
Right.
Lucasfilms and Disney.
Lucasfilm.
Oh, true. But like,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I know what you're
mean-
saying.
if they share the profits, you know.
I think honestly, if I would be I say this out loud, but it's something that I could genuinely see considering we get music kits is Counter-Strike. There could easily be Counter-Strike magic cards and nobody would bat an eye.
Well, I'm saying there's like more. There's more. Like,
We
more,
got Doctor Who and nobody bat an eye, okay?
Yeah,
Well,
but
so-
that's a really big kind of.
That's it. There's like
series.
actual Counter Strike lore now. Like you can play your number K commander.
Exactly, I'm saying
Oh
there's
my
like
God.
there's lore in with CS2 and the fact that they do music kits. There's a bunch of stuff in there that I feel like is a pretty big like I feel like there's a lot of like open stuff for putting in like just games and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I like
It's possible. I mean, if we're doing games, I mean, I feel like you would want to go with more iconic. Like even like Halo. I feel like Halo would actually be a pretty good crossover for MTG. Because
I
you have
see
you
it,
have
but
the because you could do like
They bring back shield counters.
yeah, I was gonna say shield counters. Yeah,
yeah, you could
How
have
dead are
UNSC
shield
versus like the
counters?
Flood versus the Forerunners. You could have each of those be different
Yeah.
commander decks. I feel like that you could actually do that pretty easily.
it would actually be really interesting though to see like
You'd
the
have
flood versus
vehicles,
the Phyrexians.
artifacts.
To answer your question about shield counter, they were only in New Capenna, so it's
really?
we're yet to see like when they would put them back in. So
Okay, then yeah,
they're
Halo, do
they're
it.
still available to put like they could print new cards with those mechanics in commander decks or something like that before going back to New Capenna, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
No. I actually I like them as a mechanic though. I thought
They weren't a bad
they weren't.
mechanic, yeah.
I think they were less powerful than Wizards was hoping, but I think
In draft they were nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in draft they were very good.
I mean, it's literally just if you're going to take damage, just remove the shield counter, right?
Yeah, free
Yeah.
one time indestructible.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
I-
really good.
I feel like they thought they were gonna be way more powerful than they were though, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why the cards with them on that.
Well, I mean, I think
That's great.
the wild
In draft though they were very good, but
they're very good for
in-
board wipes. And I say that half meme, half not. Imagine being able to have something that
Exile,
gave
yeah.
everything shield counters, and then you board wipe. It's a one-time indestructible, so it removes all your shield counters. Boom! There you go, Magic or Wizards. You're welcome. Hire me. I'm available 24/7.
yeah, as long
Yeah.
as his manager doesn't give him anything else.
Yeah, well, personally, I mean, as far as crossovers go, I don't know. I mean, like, flipping,
What do you think?
I don't know, because like like I said, I don't really sort of care about like playing with like cards that aren't like in the universe. Like I don't know. I'm sure you two both know. I'm a massive Ruby fan. I would love if like they did like Ruby cards, but like the likelihood of that may not be as high because they got a white like Ruby got a white short set, so it's like that's already another big Japanese card game. But it's like that'd be cool. I'd play with them.
I'm very excited for. I think Halo would work really well.
I really do think Halo would work well. Like, even though I'm not the biggest Halo fan, but I feel like the theming of it would actually work pretty decently with MTG.
I'm surprised they haven't done like a Minecraft like secret
actual,
like actually a Minecraft
like
secret lair.
That's like an actual like I think that would probably sell very well. Yeah. Like you said, secret lair planes and stuff of Minecraft. Like what you were talking about earlier.
Not necessarily like a full on crossover. Just do Minecraft art of certain cards.
Yeah, like there's just so
imagine
much.
if you had like sort of like Feast and Famine as like a fucking netherite sword.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would work pretty well. Yeah, I even think you've been cooking on that. That's another topic, but of a whole Minecraft set, even if like as like a, I mean, there's plenty of stuff to work with there and plenty of mechanics to create like, mining ore and smelting things. It's like something completely unique, and that can like to making like mana and treasure tokens. Very interesting thing to work with, and I'm by no means an expert at creating cards. Trust me, I can't even make one that works nicely.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, but it's definitely interesting to know because like I guess when this stuff first came out, because like the first one they did was the Walking Dead one. It was oh my god, there are so many people hating on it.
I mean, I see why. Why would you do the Walking Dead?
That's your first set too, right? Like
do The Sopranos.
Well, because it also
I feel like if they did Warhammer 40k as their first set, they would have had a much better reaction, right? Because that's already kind of very ingrained in that culture.
Or even like Lord of the Rings. First.
Yeah,
like, that's a much like more like safe or like quote unquote fantasy IP you can like borrow on. Like
you already have a lot of like the standard fantasy elements in Lord of the Rings that already are in Magic as well. It interfaces really well with already existing Magic cards.
And also, like, wasn't like around when did they do that?
The Walking Dead set was a year after they did the Ikoria stuff, which was sort of like what I was going to bring up because like in Ikoria they had Godzilla crossover cards, but they were reskins of cards in the set.
Yeah, I think
kind of like they did with Lord of the Rings.
Reskins. I think reskins. I think it makes a lot more sense to do reskins that are out of like the kind of secret layer stuff, like the Fortnite stuff. That makes a lot more sense because it's a lot safer because it's still cards that exist. But then when you take a series like The Walking Dead, which has been shit on relentlessly in the past, like, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
For the way it ended and for the whole series. Dude, I've been getting YouTube shorts of The Walking Dead, and every single one I watch, and I sit there and go, wow, people liked this.
You know what? I know the ending was real shit, but honestly, Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. That's another huge fantasy series that they can just do.
Like, that would be. I feel like that would kind of fit in really well as well.
That would be pretty.
Because you could do all the dragons. You could, that would. I feel like they would actually fit in pretty well into the MTG space.
I would love some westerns related stuff. I don't know why. I just was thinking.
Like
Western
or like
like exactly like Western related like Martini Henry type rifles.
Like that would be cool.
I think it would be kind of interesting. Because,
No, but I think like as with all the weird negativity that comes with it, because like was it another thing that people had an issue with was like if they do mechanically unique crossover cards and they do it in like secret layers, like if you don't buy that secret layer, you're just never going to get them again.
Right. Yeah. I don't like.
Which they've luckily, like I said, they backtracked on. Like they said.
Did they start doing that?
So what is it? When they did the Stranger Things crossover, they.
Oh, I didn't. Even,
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, right. Oh, what is it? They did a Stranger Things crossover, and in the set after, which was Streets of New Capenna, they in the list slot they put in-universe versions of all the the Stranger Things characters, and then they did all of the Street Fighter characters too. And they didn't plan for that when they did the Walking Dead ones. They said the Walking Dead ones will come eventually because they didn't make the Walking Dead ones with the promise of doing like in-universe obtainable versions. So, but I think
for those cards, are you allowed to have a new Campana version and a Street Fighter companion version in the same commander deck? Are they they
No.
considered the same card?
They're considered the same card. So like if
Okay.
you look on like the bottom of the card, it'll say like equals this card. So
right. Okay.
just to represent that they're the same.
Kind of like what they do with the Lord of the Rings, or is it kind of different?
It is different because it is like functionally a different card, which
Mm-hmm.
well, it's like a different card in like the rules, but like oh no, it's not. It's a different card, but in the rules they are considered the same card.
Okay.
So like your will from the Stranger Things is the same as I think the card is Wernog Ryder's Chaplain in universe. So
Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense instead of doing secret lair drops for $10 and then the aftermarket rate shoots up.
if only secret layers were
Yeah,
$10.
secret layers are not
Really? They're not
$10.
The
$10?
cheapest secret layers are $30.
Oh, okay. Well, the individual cards.
Yeah.
Well, like because I picked up a couple from
Mhm.
OGS and they're like $10 each, so I assumed they were you. Well, right, they're packs.
Yeah,
So
I know.
like, but even then, you're getting like $10 per card if they're
Mhm.
or a little under that, $8 per card, 7 something like that. If they're
Mhm.
5 cards each for $30.
Yeah, for
Something
sure.
around that range. So, you know, even if you're paying for that much and it's a unique card and it's used, it's only a certain amount of people buy those secret
Yeah.
lair things.
Literally, and then like the people who don't buy them first have to wait for like the it's like you're like a month behind,
Yeah.
or like you're like more than a month behind in like if the deck becomes super
Yeah,
meta.
you'd
So
be printing money if they didn't do that, or if they did do that, they'd be printing money, which would be a big outrage. People would
Yeah.
still probably buy it though.
probably people buy
People buy
there are people who
everything.
buy everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's mixed out, no matter what. It's weird.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would never do that. I stay with my flipping.
We've reached kind of the end of the podcast here, and we're going to kind of wind down with this. We appreciate you hanging around to the end here, and we hope this is winter. We're going to do a pack opening, and we're going to do a case opening in Counter-Strike, because that's the things we enjoy to do. And if you can hear me over that, I would be very impressed.
Gambling.
All right. So let's,
All right, let's crack on the text. So what pack are we opening today?
Right now we're opening a Strixhaven pack.
Is it a set booster?
Set booster.
All right,
All right.
let's check it out.
a little episode of show and tell here.
This is not crack a pack by loading ready run. This is much worse.
We're doing flip it or rip it.
We'll flip it or rip it. A demonic tutor.
Okay, if that's a demonic tutor, though, I'm going to scream my head
All
off.
right, hold up to the camera.
Token
Alright.
we got.
We got a treasure token.
Treasure token.
Okay.
Alright. Build a
Here,
platypus.
I can also
Build a
put
platypus is going to guard the cards.
Yeah, you know what? I think you get up to the camera. Get up to the camera.
I can also
Make
put I gotta just put the card up on like the screen. So it's
We got
Well, we need to show that
but
we're.
also the camera turn the camera's autofocus off to save battery. So
Oh shit!
Alright. And the art card we got. Can't even see it. Yeah.
just hold it back towards us.
All right, bring it back to this. You
Alright,
know, that's the whole point of this. Is we're testing
It's
things
scuffed.
out. It's been 3
No,
years
no,
to make it.
Alright.
yeah.
Elemental summoning.
Okay.
Sure, whatever.
Solid. That's solid.
Pigment storm.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Nice. Come on. Get us to our cards.
Spectacle mage.
Get us to our. Come on, guys. Fucking.
Waterfall aerialist.
Whatever.
Prismari campus.
So what?
Campus guide.
So what?
Come on.
Arden, Death Speaker. Okay, first uncommon. Or no, that was our uncommon. This
What's a
is
rare? Gnarled Professor.
Okay, that's probably not that good if he
That's
doesn't know what it is.
nothing.
All right.
Ooh, Tezzeret's Gambit.
That's
I don't know.
that's an okay. It's a proliferate card.
It's proliferate card. And Phyrexian Mana? Phyrexian
Not
Mana?
bad. Not bad.
Not bad. Alright. Oh, okay. Mage Duel.
Oh.
Alright, let's see.
All right, now
This
now-
is why you should
Yeah,
gamble.
alright, now-
So now we're over here, over at the case opening. So give it away, shake the case.
We always gotta shake
shaking the
the
case for good
Always
luck.
gotta shake
All
the
right,
case.
all right, open.
All right, here we go. Come on.
Dang it!
Alright.
All right. Well,
Bad luck today. Alright, we gotta try again on the next podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. It means a
Yeah.
lot to us if you stuck around for the whole thing. We hope you enjoyed. On the off chance that if you made it this far and you see this section, if you want to hear us talk about something, the three of us, anybody, we've got a lot of people who would be willing to jump on here and talk to people. Maybe there's
Yeah.
people. Maybe I'm talking to a camera right now, so maybe there's people. But we do appreciate you if you stuck around to the end, and we hope you enjoyed. We hope you laughed, and we hope to see you next time.
Yeah. What are
Yeah,
your
and, tell,
thoughts?
and tell us all of our wrong rulings that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not claiming to be like rules like lawyers or anything like that, or not rules lawyers. Like rule savants. We're not judges.
Yeah.
He might be.
We're just three people who play Magic and three people who play games and talk about things we're passionate about. So we hope you enjoyed this. And
Yeah, leave a comment.
yeah, if you made it to this part, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more.
All done.
We're doing. I got to do all the basic stuff.
Yeah, you know.
But
do the
thank you
big
very
stuff
much.
at the end, yeah.
Yeah, thank you
All
very
right.
much, everybody.
Bye.